Bonjour. Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be checking out a cake fit for a king. So I guess there's a tradition called Galette des Rois, a French pastry tradition that involves sharing a cake and a hidden charm on January 6th, the day of Epiphany. So I don't know what the day of Epiphany means, but I do know that we have this video right here by France 24 English. Links will be in the description section down below. Like always, go over there and hit like on the original video. And we're going to explore France's Galette des Rois tradition. That's what we're going to do. And happy Galette des Rois to you guys. When this video drops, it'll be the day before. So January 6th, this video should be dropping January 5th for you guys. Let's watch it. Thanks for watching with me. Do love me some food.
It's the pastry best associated with the month of January. At the start of every year, the Galette des Rois, or king cake, fills bakeries.
Galette des Rois. How do you get, sorry, I don't know French. How do you get Rois out of R-O-I-S? I thought it was like Roy. I was wrong. I apologize.
Across France, and there's one to suit everyone's taste.
A fit for a king. Rois.
Hello and welcome to France in Focus. Now, you'll want to stay tuned because by the end of the show, you'll have the recipe for the best galette des rois in the greater Paris region.
Is she saying Ra or Wa? I don't even see a W in there. I'm confused, but let's watch it.
The recipe is just behind me. Before that, though, let's take a look at how the galette des rois actually came about.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's check this out.
So Nadine, in terms of the theories that exist surrounding la galette des rois, there are several. They're not all religious, so are they, Nadine?
Well, there's no religious significance whatsoever. It's true that we tend to associate the kings with the three kings in the nativity scene, who are in St. Matthew's Gospel, those who came to bring the precious gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Okay.
However, the king's cake is more likely linked to an ancient tradition which can be dated back to the Romans and which took place just before our Christmas. They held a banquet for the winter solstice, which was called the Saturnalia. The masters hosted their slaves at the table for a feast. They picked a king with games like jacks or dice. So it was always a game of chance, which could name a slave as king of the table.
Today, when you get the charm, you're quite happy. It wasn't always the case, though.
Yes, it's true that the person who...
Okay, so that's interesting. So there's a charm inside of it, right? And now I guess you're happy when you get the charm. But that wasn't always the case. So I feel like maybe it has some more sinister vibes going on in antiquity and, you know, back in the day. Not now, right? Now it's just you get the charm and it's happy, it's joyous, it's great, it's fantastic. But it sounds like it wasn't always the case. And another thing that's crazy is like this tradition dates back to the Roman times. That is incredible. That is what 2,000 years, I would think, right? Roman time, didn't they fall maybe a little like 1,600 years if it's the tail end of the Roman times, right? Didn't they fall Roman Empire in like the 400 AD area, something like that? I don't know for sure, but let's check this out. This is pretty cool.
Found the charm, had to invite all of those present for a meal the following year. And at the Epiphany, when we share the king's cake, we're usually in a big group. So some used to avoid the expense by swallowing the charm, which at that time would have been a bean, so very digestible.
Okay, so you had to basically supply the food, provide So you had to host the next year's party, basically. I see. So when you're poor and it's like, oh wow, I don't want. So what would you do when the following year happens and it's like, okay, well, who got the charm? Nobody got it, really? Like nobody? Like, what do you do then? You know what I mean?
Haricots, si vous voulez, donc était très digeste. Et c'est à
Then,
partir
in
de
the
ce
1870s,
moment-là,
some clever pastry chefs
et
replaced the
certains
bean charm
pâtissiers
with a real
asiatiques
charm made of
avaient envie de
porcelain.
remplacer la fève par une
It
vraie
brings
fève
good
en
fortune
porcelaine.
to find the charm at
Ça
the
porte
beginning of the
bonheur de
year.
la fève en ce début d'année.
It forecasts a very good
On
year.
annonce ainsi une très belle année, évidemment.
Hopefully you get the charm this year, viewer. And you know what? For extra good luck, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? That'd be cool too. You get luck for hitting like, luck for hitting subscribe, luck for getting that charm. You have a triple whammy this year.
La Galette des Rois is something that's celebrated a lot in France, even at the Élysée Palace. Each year there's a celebration there, but there's no charm and there's no crown.
Pendant la Révolution française,
During the French Revolution, it
No
was
charm?
obviously a tradition which quickly became highly
il ne
controversial.
fallait plus parler de royauté.
It was clearly no longer acceptable to
Et,
mention
la
royalty,
Galette des Rois a même failli
and the
disparaître.
king's cake almost
Et à ce moment-là, il y a
disappeared.
plusieurs boulangers
At this
Oh.
time, several bakers started calling it the freedom cake or the equality cake.
Donc,
Okay, so after the French Revolution, okay, so they revolted. There's no king. So now it's not a kingdom anymore, right? There's no king and queen. It's more like a prime minister kind of situation, I think. I should know this. I think I watched a video that covered that, but my memory sucks. And I watch a lot of videos. It's hard to remember everything.
So the custom was preserved, and today the Bakers and Pastry Chefs Union brings an enormous one to the Élysée Palace, maybe 1.5 meters in diameter. It's really very big. And like you
Jeez.
say, there's no charm, so no one gets to be
Et
king.
effectivement, il n'y a pas de fève et personne n'a la couronne.
Nadine, thank you very much for talking us through the history of La Galette des Rois.
You're welcome.
So that's what. So you would be called the king. Basically, if you got the charm, you'd be the king of the next one. Okay.
It was a pleasure.
But not anymore.
Every year in France, competitions are held across the country to decide on the best Galette des Rois. This year, it was the Dupont Tea Room in the Greater Paris region which won the coveted title. We're here to find out whether or not the title was well deserved.
Okay. Wow, that all looks amazing.
Yasmin Menesse, your head baker here at the Dupont Tea Room. Firstly, a big congratulations to you on winning this year's coveted prize. Now, last year you came second. What did you change this year to make your recipe the winning recipe?
Compared to last year, I didn't change anything in the recipe because I was so close to winning first place. So this time I focused more on perfecting the baking of the galette, as well as the scoring, the pattern we draw on top. So for the puff pastry, I stuck with the inverted type, and for the filling, it's the same recipe.
Now, you spoke about
I mean, that makes sense. You know, you're so close to winning this thing. It's like all you have to do is just perfect it. You're that close. Like, don't change it up. Just make it what you have better. Yeah, that's awesome.
pastry before. Of course, that's a key ingredient for the Galette des Rois. What's the secret to a good puff pastry?
For a delicious and foolproof puff pastry, it's better to use an inverted puff pastry. Unlike the traditional pastry, where we encase the butter in the dough, in inverted puff pastry, we encase the dough in the butter. We roll it out, fold it, roll it out again, fold it, creating successive layers of butter and dough.
What would be the difference, though? Whether you do the butter first or the dough first, you're layering it, you're folding it, and you're layering it, right? So you're going to get dough and butter regardless throughout the layers. I'm not a pastry chef, so...
The most challenging part is working with it, because the butter quickly returns to room temperature. So not everyone might be able to use this technique.
Now, last year we saw a real increase, Yasmin, in the prices of the Galette des Rois, notably because of energy prices, raw materials. Has the price of the Galette des Rois increased again this year?
Yes, prices have soared this year as well. That's why the galette that won the prize costs 65 euros. It's for 10 people, but that's the price you pay for quality. It's mainly due to the rise in energy costs. Butter is expensive. Almond powder is also a luxury product, and labor
Everything's
costs have also
expensive.
increased. For us, independent bakers, daily life has become very expensive. However, for the industrial producers, they buy in large quantities, tons, and they can get a discount. But for us, it's different. We feel the crunch of inflation, and it does impact our prices.
Now, your galette de roi is made on site. It's homemade, if you will. Not all galette de roi are made on site. Can you tell the difference between those that are perhaps sold in the supermarkets and those that are made in boulangeries like yours?
I'm sure.
Supermarkets and large retailers work with low-cost raw materials. Therefore, it's a lesser quality. There's a standardization of galettes because they largely use machines, whereas in artisanal work, we do everything by hand, except for pastry rolling. We no longer use rolling pins, but we use machines called laminators. So that makes all the difference. Not all our galettes will be identical, but it's about craftsmanship and the French know-how, striving to deliver the best quality every day.
Now, we promised
Yep.
our viewers that you'd give us
I knew she was going to say something along the lines of basically like, hell yeah, you can tell a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like artisans. They're doing it in bulk for the grocery store, supermarket, whatever you want to call it. So
a cooking lesson to show us how you make your excellent galette de roi. Shall we give it a try?
Avec plaisir, on y va.
oh yeah. Let's see it in action.
Pour faire une galette, on a
To make a galette, I need minimum 3 days to knead and score. Scoring means drawing patterns on the galette.
3 days.
I need that time because inverse puff pastry is a slightly more complicated technique. You need to prepare the butter and the dough beforehand. For the layers, we alternate butter and dough to achieve a beautiful puff pastry.
Là, je vais prendre ma poche.
Now I'll
the
take
butter.
my piping bag and fill the center of the disc with frangipane cream,
Oh
which is
no.
a mix of almonds, butter. We use good quality butter for the puff pastry and the almond cream. There's also sugar, eggs, and a small amount of pastry cream to lighten the filling.
Pour alléger la garniture. Donc on commence au centre.
Starting from the center, I make a spiral of frangipane.
Frangipane.
Donc là, il faut pas oublier de
And let's not forget the traditional Lucky Charm. We place it on the edge, never in the center. It would be a shame to cut into it, so we keep it away from the center so it remains a surprise until the end.
jusqu'au bout.
Okay, so they are putting charms in it again. They just stopped during
I
and after the
carefully push
revolution.
out the air from the galette to gradually seal these two
À cette
parts.
étape-là, je vais
And then I'll pop the galette into the fridge for at least an hour.
environ minimum 1 heure.
Okay, so that's already layered up then.
For at least
Yeah. So she's already got ready to go layer. So it's already, I guess, layered. That's not just a single piece of dough. I thought she was going to be doing like the layering process, but that's already ready to go. So she pulls out an already layered slab, fills it, another layered slab, crimps it. All right.
an hour.
Environ minimum 1 heure. Et maintenant, je vais pouvoir procéder
More
au
butter.
calfinage.
Next, I'll proceed with the marking to create patterns on the top of the galette, drawing the beautiful design that helped us win the contest.
Nous a permis de gagner.
This step takes a bit longer. Usually, if I make a diamond-shaped design, as in traditional galettes, it takes about 30 seconds per galette. But this one will take me 5 minutes.
Par galette,
Oh
alors
yeah,
que
I'm sure.
celle-ci,
It's
elle
going
va
to
me
look
prendre
nice
5
though. I can
minutes.
already tell.
Puis là, pour finaliser,
And to finish, I mark the edges.
le petit détail.
It's the final touch.
Et voilà, la galette
And
est
now the
prête
galette is
pour
ready
aller
for baking.
être en cuisson.
Award-winning pattern. Oh yeah, it looks
wow,
good.
look at that. Looks absolutely delicious. Thank you very much indeed.
Wow, that's
those of you at
crazy
home-
how. So the outside, so earlier, let me go back here. You can see it's flat, you know, all the way across. Like this is flat, but then it goes up, right? But then at the end, it's baked all the way across. So like this here just like rises and rises all the way up, and then it just like evens out somehow. Like look at that. Yeah, see, that looks flat all the way across. That's crazy how that rose and just evened out. Like that looks good.
Wow, look at that. It looks absolutely delicious. Thank you very much indeed. For those of you at home watching France in Focus, thank you for watching. Time now to taste this Galette de Roi.
Yum. Those pastries look so good though, don't they? Okay, so that was 2024, so that was okay, last year, 11 months ago it says. That looks delicious, guys. Well, happy Galette de Roi. Not quite sure. However you pronounce that. Happy that, and enjoy your almond pastries. I want one. That looks good. That sounds delicious. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and you guys have a super fun, awesome day. Take care. Bye.